Why is nobody talking about the Houston Rockets? I mean, this is a team that just brought in an all-NBA, all-world caliber Kevin Durant. They should be a top 2 team in the East, and instead nobody's talking about them since late June. And I mean, sure, they give up Jaylen Green, but you could argue he's not even in their top 4 of their young core because they still have guys like Alperen Sengun, Jabari Smith Jr., Thompson, and even Reed Shepherd. Losing Dylan Brooks stinks, but I mean, this is a squad. They can compete with the Thunder now. And looking at who they bring in, for the cost of just Jaylen Green, Dylan Brooks, and that 10th overall pick, would have loved to have the 10th overall pick in a draft class that was this stacked, but you still bring in Kevin Durant, one of the greatest scorers in the history of the game. And the 10th overall pick could have really helped out this Houston Rockets team, but in a couple of years, right? He's not going to play right away. And the Houston Rockets, they are ready to take that next step and contend. So they go out and they make the biggest splash possible, bringing in maybe the most gifted scorer in the history of the NBA. Yes, he's 37 years old, but he's coming off a year where he averaged 26.5 points a game, 6 rebounds, 4.2 assists, and a steal in 36 minutes, and on the U.S. Olympic team, on a squad with LeBron, Curry, the NBA's best. He was still the closer for that team. 53% shooting from the field, 43% from 3 on 6 attempts, other than, of course, the final game where Steph went absolutely nuclear, but the numbers are still there. The efficiency is still ridiculous. He can still shoot over anybody and is pretty much unguardable. I mean, getting to spots and hitting fall-away jumpers, that's KD's bread and butter, and there's not been a single person in NBA history. I mean, Kobe said it best. He was the one that he was never able to figure out defensively because KD is just so skilled, but he's got such a mixture of the height and the wingspan where he can release it at the top of his jumper that you just simply can't guard it. You can hope. Like right here, Chris Paul and Andrew Wiggins. He's going to shoot this, fading away, gets to his spot, fades away over 2 people, and knocks down the and 1 3 ball as Wiggins fouls him. I mean, that is ridiculous right there. Using his body to shield off the defender. And I mean, this is Kevin Durant to a T right here. He's got the one-on-one on the baseline. Jackson Hayes is over in help already. Doesn't matter that both of them are going to come and contest this jumper. He's still going to knock it down, fading away out of bounds, and there's not a thing you can do about it. Like I said, the efficiency is still elite for a guy towards the end of his career. I want to say this is the end of his career, but I don't know. He's on a 1-year, $54 million deal, and looking at Houston's cap situation, they are still about $4 million under the first apron, about $16.5 million under the second apron. So once, they bring in Dorian Finney-Smith and everybody, then you will still have a little bit more money to play around with. They also restructured Fran VanVleet's contract, so that's really going to help out a lot when it comes to all the salary cap issues and not having to pay the luxury tax. But looking at Houston, they still have a very bright future, even after giving up Green. They still have a decent amount of picks over the next few years still from the James Harden trade from Brooklyn. So, I mean, that's obviously going to be a great pick. Brooklyn is kind of directionless right now, so having as many of their picks as you can get will be great. The 10th overall pick would have been nice, like I said, but it's gone. So is Jaylen Green, who was pretty good in Houston. He became a fan favorite over time because of his athleticism, because of, his ability to score in bunches, and he was just 23 years old, coming off a year where he averaged 21 a game with 4.6 rebounds, 3.4 assists, and a steal in 33 minutes. But I think Ime Udoka did a fantastic job of kind of shielding Jaylen Green's weaknesses from the rest of the NBA, because Udoka, he's one of the best coaches in the league. 43% shooting from the field, 35% from 3 for Jaylen Green in the regular season, but come playoff time, he kind of got exposed, and he also didn't really improve from the 2023-2024 year. Yes, he averaged 1 more point per game. Everything else was kind of the same, and the efficiency was just a tad bit better. Now, if he can make another jump in the 3-point percentage next year like he did this year, then it could be big. And in Game 2 versus Golden State Warriors, he proved that he could be the number 1 guy. He has number 1 stuff, 13 of 25 from the field, dropped 38 points in Game 2 of the playoffs. However, the rest of the series, he combined to score just about 38 points, which is not what you want out of your star. And like I said, he's not even in their top 2 of young guys anymore, because Alperen Sengun is the best young player on this roster. Thompson is number 2. That's not really up for debate. Sengun is coming off a season where, yes, he may have averaged less points per game than Jaylen Green, but he also averaged 10.5 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, and almost a a block per game. He can cook you on the low block. He can take you out on the perimeter. Really does whatever he wants. Shot 50% from the field and 23% from three on about 1 attempt per game. So the three-point efficiency is not great. And against Golden State, he was all right. He averaged about 21 points, 12 boards, 5.3 assists, and 2 steals. You might be thinking, man, those are some great stats. What do you mean he was all right? Well, he was getting guarded by Draymond Green, so his efficiency went down. He only shot 45% from the field as a 7-footer, and I call that the Draymond Green effect. Kind of got introduced to that, but as he continues to grow and develop, he will just continue to get better and better. He'll just be 23 years old next season, which is kind of crazy to think about. And next up is Alperen Thompson, who is downright untouchable. According to the Houston Rockets front office, he was off the table in any potential Kevin Durant trade, and for a guy that is 6'7" with a 7-foot wingspan that can defend the way he can defend, but can also score the way he can score, man, Alperen Thompson is truly special. The development of him has been very nice to watch over the past couple of seasons. Averaged 14, 8.2 rebounds, 3.8 assists, 1.4 steals, and 1.3 blocks per game, and he did that while shooting 56% from the field. Also shot 27% from three on 2 attempts. Now, the cutting is fantastic. He does have a semi-awkward fit, but like I said, he's a fantastic cutter. Alongside of Fred VanVleet, he'll eventually take over the starting point guard role. I feel like, although they're using him more as a wing right now, but he has played the point guard role in the past. Versus Golden State in the playoffs, he averaged about 16.7 rebounds, 3.3 assists, and 2.6 stocks per game. Like I said, he's a fantastic cutter. Watch him right here in the corner. The pick and roll is happening at the top of the screen between Sengun and Fred VanVleet. Jared Allen's guarding him in, and as Jared Allen goes over, Amen's just going to cut in right behind him and get the easy dunk. And then this is why you love Alperen Thompson. There's Kevin Durant right there. Now teammate on teammate crime, getting the block. Once again, great rim protection for a guy that is 6'7". His athleticism is off the charts. He and his brother are top 10 freak athletes in NBA history. I mean, watch him right here. He's gonna steal this pass. They try to hit the slip in Jaylen Duran, and he's just gonna jump it and take it the other way. That's elite basketball IQ defensively. Then he's got Cade right here on an island, picks his pocket. That's not easy to do. Cade Cunningham is fantastic. Then Anthony Edwards loses it, and then Thompson picks it up, says, "I'll take it," ends up soccer dribbling it down the court. Same thing right here. He's got to work on picking it up with 2 hands, but once he gets it, he can go. Watch him come over to help double Bam Adebayo. Once again, beautiful basketball IQ on the defensive side of the ball. The Rockets also have guys like Reed Shepherd, who we talked about earlier, could be in their top 4 young players on the roster. And now without Jaylen Green, he probably is one of their top 4 prospects. I'm looking forward to a full year of Reed Shepherd this year with some of the minutes freed up by the Jaylen Green departure. Jabari Smith Jr. is coming off a year where he averaged 12.2 points a game and 7 rebounds with 1 assist and 0.7 steals in 30 minutes. Shot 44% from the field and 35% from 3 on 5 attempts. Can he pick it up a little bit? Because if he can be very, very dangerous, and I think this is the perfect fit for him playing behind Kevin Durant because he can start to grow and develop a little bit behind KD. He's 6'10" with a 7'1" wingspan, so has very similar body types, not quite 7 foot, but I think this is the perfect situation for Jabari Smith Jr. to grow and develop. And then you, of course, have Dorian Finney-Smith as well, who they bring in. Perfect free agent addition. Only 2 years of his contract are guaranteed. Love that ad. Perfect 3-and-D guy around everybody else here in Houston. They needed a little bit more shooting. They bring it in. But bottom line, they get their alpha scorer in Kevin Durant, and come playoff time, they shouldn't have problems generating buckets in the half court. With that being said, that's going to be it for today's video. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to hit the like button. Leave me a comment down below and hit that subscribe button if you did enjoy at any point. And with that being said, thanks so much for watching today's video.